we welcome you to the Otter Tail County Veterans Show on Park Region Telephone, Otter Tail Telecom. Our wonderful producer, Bobby Sue Fensky, thank you very much. This show, she may have to do a bit of editing on. The reason I say that is because my guest today is with the Higher Education Assistance Program, incepted in 2006 by the Minnesota legislature, passing legislation allowing for higher education assistance reps to man campuses around the state. The Veteran Service representative on campus does a good job, but with the changing face of federal and state education benefits, Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs partnered with the legislature a number of years ago now to bring in higher education assistance reps. And I'm pleased to introduce you today to Erin Johnson. Erin Specific is the Northwest Regional Coordinator for the Higher Education Veterans Program. We'll talk a little bit about the office in New York Mills and Fergus Falls, Otter Tail County Veterans Services, but there's a lot of ground to cover today, Erin, and I'm sure I'm grateful you were able to come on with me. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And tell us about yourself first. Family life, where did you grow up and go to school?
Sure. Well, I grew up in Moorhead, Minnesota, where I was also born. I graduated from Moorhead High in 1997, so I am a spud through and through. Played sports in high school. Just kind of...
Just following high school, that's about what you did and what got you to the point where you decided to join the military.
Following high school, I didn't quite know what I wanted to do, so I kind of did a lot of odds and ends type of jobs. I worked retail, I worked some construction, and then I had a couple of buddies join the Marine Corps. So after seeing them come back, I kind of heard the calling, so to speak, and decided to enlist in the United States Marine Corps in 2000.
Marine Corps boot camp and a Navy boot camp in San Diego. We used to watch you fellow ladies and men work out a little bit tougher structure than the Navy boot camp. I compliment you on your service and thank you for your service, Erin. You were stationed at 29 Palms a while and then sent home for Thanksgiving in 2003?
2002 it would have been at the time. Yep. So I was stationed in 29 Palms with 1st Battalion, 7th Marines from 2000 to 2004. In 2002, after my deployment to Japan, that following Thanksgiving, they kind of asked us all to go home because something was on the horizon. We weren't quite sure what it was or what was going on, but they made sure that every single one of us went home.
Okay, and then coming back from Thanksgiving, you got the call.
Yes, coming back from Thanksgiving, I just remember we had a big formation, and at that time they informed us that we'd be going to Kuwait in early February to prepare for a possible invasion of Iraq.
And Iraq invasion it was in 2003. That was the first one?
Yes,
okay.
That's correct. My unit was one of the first units, or spearhead, so to speak, for the Iraqi invasion.
So you served 4 years active duty, individual ready reserve, the following, and were called back again?
Yes, that's correct. I got out in 2004. Thought I was completely done, but the Marine Corps obviously didn't think so. So I was recalled back in the service in 2005 to go with a reserve unit out of Minneapolis back into Fallujah, Iraq.
And back home now and to stay for good.
Yes, I completed my entire contract in 2008.
How did you get involved with the Higher Education Assistance Program?
I spoke with John Weisenberger, who's a DVOP here for the Minnesota Workforce Centers. He informed me that there'd be a position opening up with the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs that he thought I'd be a good fit for, working in schools and helping veterans and their family members with their education benefits.
And tell us about your campus locations at this time.
Currently right now I am at Minnesota State University Moorhead, and I am also at M-State in Fergus Falls and M-State in Moorhead.
The specific days and times you can get by calling Erin, and we'll have your phone number and contact information during the broadcast. Let's talk education benefits. I'm so
Sure.
thankful for the legislature and the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs taking the lead again. Aaron and I were talking off camera about how Minnesota takes the lead with the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon program, the higher education assistance programs. Many states are following suit now, seeing how successful it is, but the ever-changing face of education benefits must keep you on your toes.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. I believe other states are seeing the success that Minnesota is having with this program, and they're trying to replicate what we have because they see the benefit to veterans who may not necessarily know all the benefits education-wise that are available to them.
And you deal primarily with post 9/11 veterans.
Yes, that's correct. A lot of Chapter 33 post 9/11 benefits is mainly what I deal with, which is really beneficial for veterans. Because what it does is it'll pay for tuition, it'll give them a housing allowance, and it'll also give them a book stipend.
Can you touch briefly, is that the chapter that also allows for dependents education benefits?
No, that's separate.
Okay.
That's a different one. You're talking about Chapter 35.
Okay.
That's the education benefit for dependents of family members who may have a 100% disability rating, non-employable. They would be also eligible for education benefits as well.
Now, we're talking federal chapter. Are these chapters that we're talking about, the 33s, the 35 I know is a federal benefit. Is 33 a federal benefit versus state benefit?
Yes, you're correct. Chapter 33 is a federal benefit. The state of Minnesota does offer the Minnesota GI Bill, which is a state benefit too as well. One of the things that it covers is education, and what that does is allows people to, if you're eligible, to get up to $1,000 per semester for full-time status students, or $500 for part-time status.
I'm not sure when, and I'm not sure if you can answer the question, when reservists that have not served on active duty are, but they are eligible for certain chapters or certain education benefits while they are on Guard Reserve.
Yes, that's correct. The Minnesota National Guard offers federal tuition assistance too, and that will pay for your tuition too as well for most public schools in the state of Minnesota. You can also be eligible for Chapter 1606 too as well, which gives you a small amount of money per month while you're attending the school.
So I'm a recently discharged veteran, or maybe still on active, rather ready reserve status. I come to you and I say I'm ready to go back to school. Help me out.
Sure.
Okay.
The first question I might ask you is, obviously thank you for your service. And then I'm going to try to get into a little bit more detail, were you active duty, were you reserve, so in that way I can better determine what benefit might be best for you to use.
How far does Chapter 33 go as far as the time frame? A full 4-year degree? Does it go beyond to?
You get up to 36 months for
36
Chapter
months.
33.
Okay.
Mhm.
And what if someone exhausts all their benefits then but wants to continue their education?
If you exhaust all your benefits, that's where the Minnesota GI Bill can kick in and really help you kind of, it won't cover for all your classes, but it'll at least give you some money to help put towards tuition.
And what can you tell me about benefits, federal or state, but I suppose mostly federal, for family members?
For family members, essentially there isn't a lot to offer besides Chapter 33 or Chapter 35. With Chapter 35, you have to have a direct, like father or mother who served, and they have to have a 100% disability rating from the VA.
But as in the case of yourself, and if you can answer this, you served your active duty time, you're in a successful career where you may not use your education benefits, post 9/11 education benefits, and now it's called the Forever GI Bill, but going back to the post 9/11 benefits, are there transferable credits or benefits for family members?
Yes, and that's where it gets tricky.
Right.
People can transfer their benefits to their dependents, but they have to do it while they're still serving.
I see.
And that's the really important thing to remember. So, I do recall helping people who are still in and thinking of getting out and reminding them that they need to transfer benefits before they get out if they do so, and a lot of times they forget that they have to do that step.
Okay. There is a time frame too that you have to re-enlist for. If I'm a reserve member that served on active duty overseas in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom, enduring freedom like that now, and I've only had 12 years in, I can't transfer benefits unless I re-enlist for a certain amount of time.
Yes, that's correct, although I'm not quite sure of the year. I believe it's at least 10 years, but don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Aaron Johnson is the Higher Education Assistance Representative from the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs, serving the Northwest campuses?
Yes, that's correct.
There's 13 others of you
Yes.
throughout the state.
Yes.
Okay. And all accessible. You find that there's still an interest in following the deployment of the 134th Red Bulls, the longest and probably highest number of service members that we had to go serve overseas. They came back. The majority took advantage of their education benefits, as I understand. You still find the same interest? Is the job description keeping you busy, or service members going back to school?
Yes, that's correct. You know, each of the campuses have veterans resource centers, and we do keep track of veterans that use that campus. And right now, we're averaging both at M State and Moorhead and at MSUM right around 150 to 200 veterans a month use those resources.
Good news. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add about your resources or your availability? First, the campuses in Moorhead and Fergus Falls. When do you take station?
Well, I am at Minnesota State University, Moorhead, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 4:30. I am at M State and Moorhead from Monday and Thursday from 8 to 4:30. And then I generally come up to Fergus Falls every third Thursday of the month.
Okay. And the best contact information for you?
Yep, you can reach me by phone at 218-329-6040.
And an email address?
Yep, email is aaron.johnson@mnstate.us.
Terrific information. Anything else that you'd like to get out to, not necessarily service members, but families of service members that are either in the reserve, guard reserve, or just coming off active duty, as you said yourself, as I did when I got out of high school. Kind of kicked around a little bit, various jobs, decided to go back to school and use the Montgomery GI Bill. That's not, that's from the Vietnam era, and you mentioned off camera again that that's not necessarily one that's being utilized any longer with all the chapters out there, federal and state.
Yep. Couple things that I could get out there to people is, you know, if you're interested in going back to school, please give me a call, you know, from whatever era of service you served. You know, I definitely have resources out there where I could find if you're eligible for any benefits. The other thing is we have a website, mymilitaryeducation.org, and what that is just a plethora of different information out there that you can use or search to find any information on benefits out there that you might be eligible for.
And there's education benefits available for non-traditional students that maybe don't want to just get involved in a campus setting. There's now assistance for on-the-job training, as
yes.
I understand, maybe flight school.
Yes.
Okay, so the opportunities yes. are there. A call to Aaron or one of the representatives in your district would maybe set you on your way to something new and exciting if you're just, as I say, kicking around wondering where your future might go. This is the place to start. Aaron is the place to start. Anything else, Aaron?
No.
Okay. I sure appreciate you coming on the Park Region Telephone Otter Tail Telecom program today. Following each program, Bobby Sue posts our TAPS program from the previous month of our broadcast. There's a very special person, all veterans are special who passed, but a dear friend that was my East Otter Tail County Veteran Service Officer passed away December 27 after a long battle with cancer. Sherry Frazonki always had a smile on her face. Sherry was an inspiration to her family, her friends, her church members in Dent, the American Legion post in Dent. She will be sorely missed. We will be hard-pressed to replace her as East Otter Tail County Veteran Service Officer, but we're going to try our best to do so. In the interim, think of the ones you have loved and lost, and as the VFW motto says, honor the dead by helping the living. Thank you.